Here's how I went from this whiteboard drawing to this fully functioning MVP in 2 months. At this point, everybody knows about vibe coding, using AI tools to quickly prototype and ship products, even without knowing how to code. But what they don't know about is the right process to use. And so for this project, I used this one. Really, the key is to think and act like a true product manager. You have all of these AI tools at your disposal. ChatGPT, UX tools, tools like Lovable and Bolt.new to quickly prototype, and then tools like Cursor to really refine and get your product in a polished state to ship. So this process relies on all of those tools and uses them in the proper order and with the right steps to provide context to all the AI tools all the way throughout. It starts with using ChatGPT for something called a product requirements doc. You always have an idea, and you need to have a fully fleshed out version of what you're going to go build. ChatGPT is really good at this. Give it some context of what you're wanting to build, give it some context of what the product should accomplish, and then let it produce a product requirements doc. After that, you're going to take it to a UX design tool. I love UX Pilot. I think it's a great product. You can put your product requirements doc with any other notes right into the prompt, generate a nice UI, save it to Figma, export it as a PDF or a PNG, and then you've got something to take to a tool like Lovable or Bolt.new. So now you've got a product requirements doc, you've got a UX, and you take it to a tool like Bolt or Lovable and tell it to build out the initial prototype. It's going to get to work. It's going to have a ton of context about exactly what you're building and why, about the specific functionality it needs, about the specific functionality it doesn't need. Knowing what you're not building is just as important as knowing what you are. So at this point, after Lovable gets to work with a few prompts and refinements, you're going to have a UI and a prototype that follows your product requirements doc and the UX and the UI that you've already generated. At this point, tell Lovable to generate a roadmap of what you're going to do next. It's going to be really good at it. It's going to have that full context of what you're building all the way through, and it's going to already know the work that it's done. Make sure that you're telling Lovable to create a new docs directory. Save your PRD to it. Save your roadmap. Save any type of UX or UI rules that it needs to follow throughout further development. It's going to be very crucial when you take it to something like Cursor. Again, you want that context from idea to PRD to roadmap to follow all the way through. Next, you're going to want to set up authorization and your database. In your product requirements doc, you probably already kind of scoped out some of the database tables and schema that you need. That's going to be great. Lovable is really good at connecting with Supabase. Supabase is a great back-end as a service. It's very low cost. It's very easy to learn. That's what I'm using for this project. And I knew nothing about it when I was starting. And now I feel really good and confident when I'm in there hacking around. Lovable is going to handle a lot of that for you. Set up authorization, set up database tables. And at this point, you should have something that allows someone to sign in, log in, manage their authorization state throughout the app, and then store the data and information you need to actually power the app. Then bring it all down to Cursor. Use Cursor to refine the UI, to add functionality. Make sure to tell it to look at the context of the product requirements doc and the roadmap. The roadmap is a great place to start. Tell it to read the product requirements doc, tell it to read the roadmap, and ask it what are the top 5 things you would do next, and then let it get to work. Try following this process and workflow on the next idea you have. Let me know how it works.